National Financial Center, your gateway to growth.
This week on CNN Marketplace Middle East, a progressive economy driven by a conservative government. Turkey wants more business, but do investors want its political identity crisis? And she is Israel's richest woman, with a wealth that can't be listed on an earnings report. Billionaire Shari Arison tells us how her dollars make sense.
I think if we don't have a planet, money's not going to mean very much.
Hello and welcome to CNN Marketplace Middle East. I'm John Defterius. It's the billion-dollar question asked by consumers at the pump and by energy ministers around the world. Will anything drive oil costs lower?
This Sunday in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, oil consumers and producers plan to discuss high petroleum prices. Now there's talk of some relief, a boost in the kingdom's oil output by some 200,000 barrels a day beginning next month. But OPEC's second largest oil producer, Iran, says all production increases should be approved by the oil cartel. And while many OPEC members, including Saudi Arabia, say there's no guarantee more oil will reverse the market's upward climb, they understand the pressure is on to find relief.
We are not comfortable with the volatility in the market. We think the price of oil should be at a level that's acceptable to both producers and consumers. It should be at a level that the world economy is not affected, because if the world economy doesn't grow, there is not going to be a future market for the extra production that Iraq and other countries are planning for.
So if adding more oil to the market may be in the pipeline, how much liquid gold is out there? Right now, it's estimated that OPEC nations have a spare capacity of more than 2.9 million barrels a day. Analysts say it could be available in 30 to 90 days. The bulk of it is in Saudi Arabia, which has a cushion of 2.2 million barrels a day. That's followed by other top producers. Nigeria could pump an extra 300,000 barrels a day, and Iran has about 50,000 barrels a day to spare.
We will, of course, tell you what's been decided at the Jeddah Summit on next week's Marketplace Middle East. Now to Turkey. The country's ruling party is in a battle royale with the nation's highest court. The government is charged with steering the country towards Islamic rule. Turkey is now secular, so the court could decide to ban the party, which controls parliament. It could be a political shakeup at the top that might hurt Turkey's bottom line. Schams Elwazer has the story.
As Turkey opens another chapter in its chronic struggle between secularism and political Islam, the future of its burgeoning economy hangs in the balance. A lawsuit against the ruling Justice and Development Party is before the country's highest court, calling for the party's closure, casting a shadow on the economic gains achieved by the current government. Members of the ruling party stand accused of Islamist activities that threaten Turkey's secularism.
I would accept they have Islamic roots, but their action has been very liberal in terms of economy, very conservative in terms of values.
Values that include a failed attempt to lift a ban on the Islamic headscarf in public universities. Chan says the government's shift in focus from the economic agenda to what he calls social and ideological issues risks alienating the business community.
The business community is very, clear about what has to be done in this country. They want more reform, and they supported this government because of its reformist aspirations.
Those reformist aspirations helped the ruling party win re-election last year, and its openness to foreign investment brought record growth in 2007. Since the ruling party came to power in 2002, GDP has grown an average of more than 6% a year. Inflation has been brought under control. And last year, foreign direct investment into Turkey hit a record $22 billion. But 2008 has seen disappointing results. Inflation hit double digits in May. FDI is expected to drop to $13 billion. And this year's economic growth forecast was revised to less than 4%. These factors, combined with domestic political turmoil, risk marring the international image of a stable Turkey. With an estimated $40 billion account deficit, Turkey can't afford to rattle foreign investment. The bulk of FDI has been in mergers and acquisitions, mostly in Turkey's strong banking sector. So we asked some business leaders if they were concerned.
We should not be very much sensitive about very short-term issues, We should look long-term.
Husnu Ozi has reaped the benefits of the government's liberal economic policies. His $5.5 billion sale of Finansbank to the National Bank of Greece in 2006 was Turkey's largest FDI deal to date. But when Greece's second largest lender tried to buy a 50% stake in Alternatif Bank, that deal was inexplicably rejected by Turkey's banking regulators.
It was not approved.
Why do you think it wasn't approved?
There was no specific, there was an announcement with the supervision agency, which was made public, so that's all the information.
Despite his deal falling through 2 years ago, Arig is optimistic about the future of FDI in Turkey.
Turkish economy is on the right track.
It could be months until the courts decide on the lawsuit against the ruling party, and even longer before the full economic fallout can be accurately gauged. But at the bottom of Turkey's troubles lies the recurring, almost cliché tug-of-war between secularists and traditionalists. Shams Elwazer for Marketplace Middle East in Istanbul.
When we come back, a good business that also does good. Atika Schubert introduces us to a wealthy woman who measures success in some unconventional ways.
Dubai International Financial Center, your gateway to growth.
Business in the Middle East is just booming, and the region is transforming at an incredible pace. In the past couple of years, the region has developed into one of the largest growth areas of the world. The DIFC, with its very attractive legal and regulatory framework, is a preferred gateway to this region, ideally positioned between the Western and Eastern financial markets. Deutsche Bank, as one of the leading global investment banks, has a strong commitment to this promising region, which offers substantial business opportunities today and even more so tomorrow.
Dubai International Financial Center, your gateway to growth.
Investing is an art. The art of exploring new opportunities and discovering new horizons. The art of creativity. The art of creating a bold vision. And with a portfolio of diverse investments, there is an art to creating success. Artalk, the art of investment.
Croatia, the Mediterranean as it once was. Dubai International Financial Center, your gateway to growth.
Welcome back. She's known as the Carnival Cruise Line heiress and Israel's wealthiest citizen. But for Shari Arison, work is more about the journey than the destination. She runs a billion-dollar conglomerate filled with businesses that she says have value far beyond their estimated worth. Atika Schubert found out more about Arison's unique blend of business and philosophy.
You come from a family that is very business-oriented, steeped in business. How did you go about making your own personal business philosophy?
When I look at a business, I feel that the business has to give an added value, and it has to, besides the normal business that you want to have yields and make money, and that goes without saying, it should be something that really makes a difference in this world.
So value for you is not just monetary value. There's much more than that, it sounds like.
No, because I think if we don't have a planet, money's not going to mean very much.
How do you put that philosophy into business practice? How do you get people to change their attitude and that mindset that you spoke about?
Our new business is a company called Miya, which is a water initiative. We're looking at the water issues in the world, but from a very different perspective. Instead of looking at it from scarcity, we look at it from abundance. In other words, there is water in this world. Now let's see how we can preserve it. So I look at it both on the added value side, for what's in it for our future, and also that it's good business sense. The Shikun & Binui, which is a real estate infrastructure company that we have, has now a new vision how we can build in a different way, not destroy our land, but also give added value. In other words, how can we build in a way that's more sensible, and that's going green.
What are the challenges but also the opportunities of being based in a place like Israel and doing business overseas?
Well, I think first of all it's the right people, and it's understanding the mentality of the different countries, and the needs are different. So you need to listen and be responsive. And I think there's an opportunity really everywhere. I mean, we're basically everywhere in the United States and South America and Europe, Eastern Europe, Africa, Far East.
Some of the businesses that you're in, the financial industry and the real estate industry in particular, have been hard hit overseas. How do you see your business going forward in weathering that sort of blips in the market that happen?
It's funny, people tend to panic when times are down. I think that when you're in business or just in life itself, you need to accept the cycles. There's good times and there's bad times. I look at it as waves. There's up and down, and you have to accept that.
How do you reconcile? I mean, you have a very balanced view of what your personal beliefs and your business beliefs, but sometimes you have to make hard-nosed business decisions and explain them to the public. How do you reconcile those two?
A lot of times people take a very short-term view, and my vision, basically in everything I do, is very long-term. So for me, I believe to just go on with my truth, with what I feel is the best way for myself, for my surroundings, for my business, for my organizations. And if people understand, great. And if they don't understand, it saddens me, but usually they understand a few years later.
That's all for now, but next week on Marketplace Middle East, after the politics are settled, there'll need to be an economy, infrastructure, and security. How would a Palestinian state actually operate? A conference in Berlin hosted by German Chancellor Angela Merkel looks ahead. Be sure to tune in for that. And for another review of any of our stories, come visit our website. It's at cnn.com/MME, or send your comments via email at mme@cnn.com. Thanks for joining us for this edition of CNN Marketplace Middle East. I'm John Defterius. We'll see you next week.
Dubai International Financial Center, your gateway to